Welcome to Middling with Eden and Brock, where today, Eden and I, we are not breaking down an episode of ABC's The Middle.
Yes. We will be back next week with our recap of 119, the final four. But today we have something very, very, very special.
We're interviewing Neil Flynn.
Yes, we are interviewing the one and only.
I know. You guys have been asking, and honey, we have too. And he's here. And it's so good, and it's so funny.
He is hard to get, I will say, he is hard to get out of his house. The only reason I think he did this, and he's pretty available for me because he loves me. but he's hard. The only reason he was able to do this, I think, is because we booked a recording studio very close to his house.
Inches away from his home.
If he has to take a freeway to get to someplace, he is not going, honey.
Mm-hmm. But he did come to the studio.
But he did, and the interview is so great, and we're so excited to have it here.
Mm-hmm. And as always, there's the extended episodes, and also too, I don't know if people keep forgetting this or if we don't say it, the blue bag grab. We love trivia on this show. In case you haven't been able to tell, we love trivia. So the blue bag grab is always in those extended episodes. So if you're a subscriber to Patreon, you get that. Or as always, if you just want one-off extended episodes, you can do that for $3 an episode, whether that's the audio or the video. So,
and I should say that Neil's blue bag grab specifically is really good. There's a really, really good Norm Macdonald story in there.
Well, that's also kind of the case whenever we do blue bag grab stories, because what's nice is that it jogs some memories for our guests a little bit, and you end up, they always kind of go off and they're like, oh, you know what? It reminded me of this moment. So it's more than just the trivia. You're getting those like extra stories that kind of like jogs their memory in the moment. It's great. It happened with Alex Reed this upcoming week that we have with him. It happens with Neil. It's wonderful.
It's a great little thing that you invented, Brock. Love you for it.
Thank you. So all of that and so much more. So let's get to middling.
I'm serious. I think it'd be really funny.
I feel like I might be in one.
I was going to say, would you want to do one?
Except that it shoots in Canada.
Sure.
You could have a whole second career playing the dad in a bunch of Hallmark movies.
I know.
Well,
believe me, there's always that, because it's generations they show. From 8 to 80,
Correct.
The characters. And I would consider it.
But it does there is a community who watches it, though. And that's why, like,
believe it.
Candace Cameron Bure and Alexa Penavega and all the people, they made them their
I
career.
know who both those people are.
There you go. You acted with one of them.
Alexa.
Yeah.
Because I looked her up. I have IMDb right in front of me as I watch television and all. Yeah. But especially these movies.
Yeah.
We should get started.
Let's do it.
We've been rolling, right? I remembered.
Okay, great.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. It's a little red light. Okay, so we're gonna get started. If there's anything you're like, I don't want to. Yeah. I take it back. I don't like that. Take it out.
Okay.
Just be like, just say pause. Take it out, and it's out.
Okay. So my racist rant should probably
keep those. Yes. Keep it at a minimum. We can cut it down.
Right.
If you'd like.
We'll make it 3 minutes,
keep
not
the
5.
essentials.
Yeah.
The points I'm trying to make.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we want you to come off concise. Okay.
Hi guys. This is a nicer setting than I expect. I really thought we'd be sitting around a kitchen table.
Good. I mean, this place is outlandish. This is
kind of it's kind of insane, but only the best for Neil Flynn.
Yeah. Oh, why?
That's what I'll say.
This is an irregular set?
No, we film from home.
Yeah, usually. For special guests, we come to a studio.
Okay.
Neil Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. I'm honored to be here.
The truth is, we just were scared of having to send you the instructions on how to record over Zoom.
Oh.
I was like, we got it for Neil. We got to do it in person. That's not going to work.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
And I got to hug you, so I'll take it.
There you go.
Remember the Lopez table read? Do you remember that?
Was that like I couldn't be heard or something?
Yes, for like 15 minutes. Nobody could figure out what was wrong. You couldn't, there were like 18 people on this table read Zoom and nobody could figure it out. And I just felt I was like, oh, I wish I were there. We should have done it together. I should have gone over there. We should have done the table read together.
Well, the problem is I'm bad at all of it as far as new technology and stuff. And, I know so little that I don't know when it's not my fault.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know,
You're like, is this on me or is this on them?
right? And I would assume it's on me, and most of the time I'm right. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't stream anything.
So today we have a very special, very talented, very, very tall, very technologically inept guest. He's one of my favorite people in the whole world. He needs no introduction, but we're going to do it anyway. Born on the south side of Chicago, is that correct? Okay.
Got that straight from your Wikipedia.
Our guest made a name for himself on the improv scene through the famous and iconic Second City, one of the first improv people.
Since you were aware of it, it was
about
around
Del
for
Close.
decades. Yeah,
Yeah, but like as an art form, as like a not a means
It
to an end,
started
but
in,
as
like,
an end
the
itself.
50s, maybe 60s.
This
it
introduction has gone so off the rails already.
started. Okay, that's all right. Go ahead, keep going. It's about me, so I'll listen.
Yeah.
Yes, he made a name for himself, being, I guess the second, third, fourth generation, whatever, of improv people. He is a founding member of Beer Shark Mice. Did you join it? Okay. I don't know why I'm reading this like this is all facts that have been fact checked, and I'm like, is this
How
true?
many people are going to know what Beer Shark Mice is?
I bet significant. I bet some.
Okay.
And if
I
they
was
don't know,
shocked.
they will know.
Yeah, they can look it up.
Yes. Okay.
His TV and film credits are too long to list.
Voluminous.
They're what did you say? Numerous?
Voluminous.
Voluminous. He's a
Having volume.
Yeah.
prolific actor. But of course, it was Scrubs that really made him a household name. And
For me,
of
it was
course,
Rookie of the Year. That's how I knew you.
Really?
I love Rookie of the Year. Second baseman.
Why? What's second baseman?
You played the second baseman.
First base, my friend.
First baseman. You're first baseman?
Yes.
Never mind. It's Stan, though, right? Was your name?
Stan.
Yes.
You're right.
wow.
Stan Oki.
I of course, you know how you can guess. You can probably guess how I knew you. Before.
Mean Girls.
Yes, obviously. You're the
Okay.
dad from Mean Girls.
Yes.
And as our listeners probably most likely will know him, Mike Hack, and also the man, the reason I know the rules to baseball, and also the man who, when he met my daughter for the first time, said, "I wish you were a little more social." She's 3.
Yeah, she was. I found her standoffish.
She is. She's very standoffish. She
So-
is aloof.
I tried not to be offended, but
You shouldn't be. Honestly, it's better than her. She wasn't cowering. And that's a huge, she wasn't like cowering away. She just wasn't talking to you. Yeah. No, she doesn't like people very much.
well,
Neither one of them.
that can change. People can change considerably over time.
Have you
Especially
changed?
when they're 3.
Okay,
Yes.
please,
A lot of runway.
please welcome Neil
Neil
Flynn.
Flynn.
Hey,
Thank you for
folks.
doing this
Thank
Glad
you
to
so
be here.
much.
Glad to be here.
in our space world.
Yeah. I will talk about anything you want to talk about. I
Okay.
assume.
You really can't talk about anything for however long. Like we were before we started recording, we were talking for I feel like 20 minutes about I don't even know what. Nothing. Glenn Powell?
Who, us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your love of
I
Hallmark
think I'm
movies.
a good conversationalist. I'm
I would agree with
very
that.
easy to. I roll. I'm probably hard to keep on topic.
You are a
Everything
Well, this
fantastic.
one too. I'm really going to have a task then with you two.
Yes. I don't think with us together we've ever completed a single actually I don't know if that's true because sometimes I feel like I will interrupt you and then you'll be like, I'm going to finish telling my story now. I'm going to finish my point.
I did that yesterday. I met several friends to watch the Bears game.
Mm-hmm.
And some guy, I was in the middle of a story and a couple guys showed up and everyone's like, it's just a new beginning. And after a minute or two, I had to say, I can't leave a story untold. So I'll catch you guys up and here's the ending.
Well, I think that's why you're so good at improv also though, is because your memory is also your memory is so good.
Yeah.
You can go on a tangent, and if you've seen an improv show, that's kind of the format where you are interrupting with a like, oh, that'd be funny if this happened, and you're adding to the story, but then you go back to the original story and you're also like remembering facts from the original, and that's
Right.
how you, and so I think it,
And you know what? People something about that, generally you can call that a callback.
Yeah.
Is people find it pleasing, like emotionally and intellectually, people love a callback.
Yeah.
They go, well, especially with improv, since there's no props or set or costumes or anything. It's only your memory. And then when you say something and they're like, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's from before. And it works. I mean, everyone who works in comedy knows that it works. And there's something, funny thing is, I listened to, as I'm wearing my LAS sweatshirt, I'm a supporter of public radio and listen to, for instance, Wait, Don't Tell Me on weekends. And on that show, the people are funny. Most of them are professional comedians on there. But every once in a while, someone will do a callback, but it's a little thin. They're just mentioning what was in the previous question or something, but it will get a laugh.
Sure.
Like, the audience is like, oh, that's from before.
Feels familiar.
Think honestly,
it's familiar to me.
It's involuntary. At least to have some guttural reaction to, I know that. It's like seeing someone you know.
Well, it makes
even
it
if you
feel
don't
like they're in
them.
on the joke, right? They're a part of it with you in that instance.
Yes, I think you're right about that.
So we really could talk about nothing for hours, but I do want to know. I think our listeners want to know. We want to know. We always ask our guests, says, how did the middle come into your life? Because we know a little bit about your casting process, but walk us through end of Scrubs into the middle. How did this happen?
I think it was, I know it was the first thing I auditioned for after Scrubs. I knew that was so great to have a job for that long and something that put me somewhere on the map. And I believe this was, I couldn't make, for some reason, the first audition, and they asked why not. The producers wanted to know why was it. Is he not, which marks, I believe, the first time that has ever applied to me, that anyone noticed that I didn't show up for the audition, let alone cared. And so that it was just an audition, and then whatever, you get the next step, and the next step, the callback or whatever it's called, and then you go to the network test, and it just fell into my lap.
How many reads did you do? Did you do? Because did you do a pre-read, or did you go straight? You went straight to Eileen and Deanna, I'm assuming, right?
I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, also, were you, because we heard from G that Scrubs was going from network to network, from NBC to ABC. Were you a part of that transition? Did you know if you were part of that transition?
There was one of them that it like after a couple of years, after 1 year or something, it moved from NBC to ABC or vice versa. I don't remember. But then they did after doing the series finale, emotional,
Yeah, you tied it up.
Flash forward, we tied it up. It was like home movies from JD and Turk's Futures. Season 9. Except it was different. They could have called it Scrubs Med School or something like that because of a different setting and only a couple of remaining characters. Mm-hmm. But Bill Lawrence, who created the show, I hope I'm not wrong in quoting him here, he more or less said the show should have stopped and could have stopped, but they wanted to do another year, and he didn't want to put 200 people out of work. There were people that wanted that as their job still.
Right.
Yeah.
Behind the camera. And so they kept going.
So I want to know, because you read the script and you were like, were you in the position at that point? Were you reading scripts and not auditioning for things? Were you like, no, I don't like this. This isn't good. Or were you just still just kind of like, sure, I'll read for anything? Because
I think it feels from what you just described, we were like, well, that was the first time no one noticed that, or everyone noticed that I didn't show up. Were you still in the mentality of like, I'm a working actor. I just got off a series for 9 years, but I'm still back to the grind? Or were you like, no, I just lived the dream. Now I have the opportunity to live it again because I rung up in my career.
It was kind of both. I didn't have time to think. Like I told you, I think it might as well have been the week after Scrubs stopped shooting. And so I didn't even have time to form a an opinion about what I do now or where I stand. And I certainly didn't think I'm now a big shot, I just felt like I've been allowed into the party, and now I can just stand in the kitchen and wait for someone to talk to,
Yeah.
Before there was no way in for a long time, and I felt like I was in. And so, I don't recall having any opinion about it. It was, like I said, it's just the first time I'd auditioned in a long time,
Sure.
And, I was happy to do it, and I don't think I knew that Patty Heaton was already cast. I don't think I knew that. I might have.
Sure.
But it was maybe three steps to getting the job. And delighted, but of course at the time that it's a pilot.
Yeah.
That's what you've signed up for, a week of work.
Yeah.
And it seemed good enough to go, and certainly I thought Patty being involved gave it enough oomph, to be seriously considered. But I think, if I recall, someone said that it was kind of a dark horse going into the selection process.
What does that mean?
Meaning
An underdog.
not a likely winner. Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Underdog, dark horse,
Yeah.
Brady cat,
Yeah.
just anything with an animal in it. And so I thought, oh, well, what are you going to do? Probably not. But it was, and then it went and stayed on the air.
Yeah. It just kept
9
going.
Yeah.
crazy years. It just kept going.
So then I guess I'm guessing this probably already answers it, since, it just felt like a progression of things where you didn't have time to think about anything. You're coming from Scrubs, where you're a very different character than Mike Heck. He's a little bit of a goofball. The show is a little bit offbeat. It's an ensemble workplace comedy. And then you go into a new show where it's a family dynamic. You're the straight man. You're the dry character in the series. And it's anchored around Patty Heaton. Does that change your approach to anything? Or did you was that a learning curve? Or you just, I'm going to do what I do?
The difference was, I said sort of jokingly, as Scrubs was ending, I hope I get another job. And if so, the only challenge would be if they want the script word for word out of the actor's mouth. And
Which infamously,
Yeah.
we needed word for word.
they did.
We're
Yeah.
perfect.
Which actually wasn't that hard, especially with a little practice to accomplish. Because that goes back to high school. This is your line. This is what you say.
Right.
You don't, make it your own. But I say that because it would be a challenge, because there was a lot of freedom on Scrubs to improvise or to, let's say, offer alternative lines.
Right.
And the camera just kept rolling, and you say, and if he could make it better or whatever. The creator of the show said, I don't care if you improve the dialogue, people will think I wrote it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, okay, fair enough. But that was not the case at all with the middle, and probably for the better. Because Scrubs, my character was likely to say almost anything.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and Mike Heck is not the same kind of character. So it took a little adjustment, maybe the first few episodes.
Yeah.
And then I was, one of the first episodes, early anyway, we had a train set. The scene started with Patty and I doing adjusting the train set for Christmas, while we talk about something or other. And at that moment, it was early enough in the process that it was so tempting. I'm like, I can't do anything with these toys that are in front of me, or say something. But I was able to rein
It's
it
funny
in.
enough. I was in that
I-
episode. We were in the background. I know exactly
That's
what
right.
you're talking
We were.
about.
That's right.
We
That's
were in
right.
the kitchen.
Because she was like, oh, you did this without me? Like, you did this without me? You're
Yeah.
like, I love doing this. You were supposed to.
God, how do you remember that?
No, we just
watched it about a couple months ago.
I would never have remembered.
Okay.
We literally watched it 2 weeks ago.
Were you in the first season?
Yeah. Thanksgiving was I was slated for Thanksgiving and Christmas of season 1, and then they bring me back.
Yeah.
I need to say something about you, which is that
Brace yourself.
you never know what's going to come out of my mouth when I start a lot of sentences with that. I do think that's why, despite you not wanting to leave your house, you will, I think, never stop working because, like you said, like you came off of Scrubs, like you are one of the most, I say this all the time, just
Wait, anything could come next. You're one of the most intolerable loudmouths.
insufferable, frustrating.
Yes.
No, goofiest, smartest, and just really one of, I think, in the 20th and 21st century is like really most skilled improvisers that you can do so much. You are so naturally funny. You are so funny, but you also came from theater. And so you weren't a stand-up, although you did try stand-up like once, right? Yeah. But you're not like stand-ups notoriously don't want to learn their lines. We'll come up with alts or maybe funny, you know, but like can't do the other acting part of it. And I think because you come off like you can do everything a stand-up can do. You can deliver like hard jokes and also come up with your own jokes, but also you have this like fundamental, this like foundation of just like actual acting. So I think that is kind of crazy that you could come from 9 years of being super utilized, being like all of your alts, like all of your, probably more of your creativity really being hyper utilized, and then being able to not feel, and maybe you're saying you did feel maybe a little stifled or you felt like, but like being able to work within those confines is crazy. It's crazy. You will I don't think you'll ever stop working.
You're saying my off-screen personality and skill set are larger than what was displayed on the middle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think it's a different type because I think like you're playing the goofball, you're playing the anything can come out of your mouth, like you said, as a janitor, where now you have to get a laugh in a very different way when you're on the middle because you're a different function in the show.
Well, wait, all I was saying was that I think you will never stop working because you have both skill sets. You being underutilized or you being able, you know, not to be able to like have alts or like goof around or whatever, that's a different thing. And I do think like, what a loss. Like you never, like, you just have so much.
Well, I appreciate that. But it was it wasn't called for on the middle. And whether I, ever work again is not up to me, I'm afraid, or you, or my skill set. It's
you can say that, but it is up to you. People will want you. People want you.
Hey, last few years.
Well, nobody worked the last
0 kid.
Yeah. That's what
they say, except there's an awful lot of TV shows.
I know. I keep thinking that's why I turned.
But everyone that I talk to, you know, whether they run a camera or are a writer or whatever, everyone says there's nothing out there. What is going on?
I know.
Well, maybe that nothing's in town. I don't know, but I hope to work more because it's I can almost say that it's not really working. You know what I mean? There's a saying, find what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. It's kind of like that. If you're lucky enough to have an acting job or several in a row, it's really not a lot feeling like work. It's if you have to set the alarm, okay, you know, you're getting up in the dark. That's kind of like work,
right?
But you know, you're doing what you. Someone, the only podcast I listen to, by the way, no offense to you fine people. I've recently said John McGinley, speaking of Scrubs, he has a podcast. Mm-hmm. These are a little plug for you, John. And lately, because I joined the gym, he's probably not listening. You're right. Maybe someone will tell him about it. But his is the only one that I've been listening to. It's just one-on-one interviews with. Someone said that he was talking with his guest about what do you get out of it, you know, which is take away the money. And I was thinking along with his guest, you know, what would I say? What do you get out of it? It's just what you do best. And it's not like what I do best is dunking a basketball, so I really enjoy it. It's something you've always been able to do, and you started doing it because it was fun. And you just kept doing it, and it turns out you can make a living doing it. And it's do it because it's actual enjoyment.
Yeah.
And I had the experience on the middle of most of my scenes were with Patty Heaton, and some of them were in the bedroom. And remember a particular time when it was a longish scene, 4 pages or something. And sometimes in between setups, whatever, we just stay there. We're under the covers.
Mm-hmm.
And so, did you witness this personally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just stay there and talk, because Patty was so easy to talk to, and she's the age of my oldest sister. Oh, that's a funny way to say it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Patty. She's a couple years older than me, I believe. And but I mean, we have the same frames of reference to the world and whatnot. And so we would just talk and talk. And one of the things I said was, this is so rare, certainly for me, to have a 4-page scene. There's no such thing for most actors. Maybe in an acting class, you might get a 4-page scene if it's from a play.
Right.
Not from a TV show, probably, or a movie. But unless you're a star, you don't get a 4-page, and I should clarify, 2-character 4-page scene.
Right.
Where you have every other line.
Mm-hmm.
You can go your entire career and never have that. Because it's just not that way. Again, unless you're a star. The star of a show will have the one-on-one meet scene. But so it just made me feel fortunate that, because that, again, going back to that was the joy. To play any scene is usually fun in some way, but to have a long one, and you know all the words, and you like and trust your scene partner,
mm-hmm.
that's the goal. That's the high point.
Yeah.
Of being an actor.
I really think that having, maybe it's just luck, or maybe it's beschert, like meant to be, I don't know, or maybe it...
Shirt.
Yes. Yiddish, heard of it?
I was going to guess that, but I didn't want to presume. Right. The Jew word?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Is this the beginning of your racist rant? Is it starting now?
I'll let you know.
That's a great callback.
Yeah.
Nice.
I learned from the best. No, I think maybe having 2 people head a show, like you and Patty,
mm-hmm.
who got much success later in life. Like, you were child stars, and you didn't move to LA after college and then book the first thing, I think having, and you're both from the Midwest, you both have this like really, really immense appreciation for the whatever job you have, I feel like. And I feel like that growing up with that, even though I was young, and I'm the person that I'm, referring to, like I was 17, even though it felt like forever because I had been wanting it since I was a child and I hadn't worked as a child, and which is insane to think about, that I was like 9, 10 being like, they're working so much more than me. It's like, go catch a ball. Like, what are you doing?
Well, if I may,
yes,
begin to answer your question halfway through your question. Yes. It's when Patty and I, if I can speak for her, were 9 or 10. We had a TV in the house, and you watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff. The idea of being in the TV basically never occurred to us. It seemed impossible. If we were watching the Beverly Hillbillies or the Carol Burnett show or something, you could admire it and think, maybe I'd like to do that, but it didn't seem possible.
Yeah.
How? Those aren't real people that mow their own lawn or whatever the hell. They're these characters on TV. It took a while. Of course, this is as a young kid. But if you know someone from a TV show and you see them on something else, like maybe a rerun of a show they did before, or you were watching reruns usually, and this is what they're on now, and you see them, it was disconcerting for a minute. Because, wait, you're Rob Petrie. How are you?
Yeah.
Why do you have a mustache? And who's that lady who's pretending to be your wife?
Yeah. Right.
That sort of thing. Well, what I'm saying is, it not being surrounded in any way by show business in the Chicagoland area, there was nothing to be frustrated about. It was impossible. I was in college, toward the end of college, before it even crossed my mind to attempt to do this professionally. And only then did I learn that there's professional theater in Chicago. And I went to see a play or two. My dad was on the ball enough to suggest a couple of shows that he took some of us to. And then once I was in Chicago and doing theater for free, a friend of a friend was heading to L.A. for pilot season. And this guy was a big shot because he had some commercial on TV. I didn't know that they cast commercials here. And he was on a cereal box. That seemed crazy, like on Frosted Flakes or something. He's on the cover eating putting a spoon to his mouth. And so it starts to occur to one that you can piece together a living, that you don't have to live in California, one, and two, that you can eventually move to California, which I eventually did.
Right.
And
I think the year I was born, 91?
No, it was before that.
Oh, okay.
Really 86 and I left in 92, I think.
You left LA?
Yeah, with my tail pretty much between my legs. And just went back to Chicago and regrouped and came back out, and it went much better.
When did you come back out? I'm sorry, I want to let
92.
you finish. But no, but you went.
Oh, 92, I left here and went back to Chicago and came back in 98.
What did you do in those 6 years?
Well, it was the most beneficial years of my life. Leaving LA was the best thing I ever did. And when I got back to Chicago, I stepped inside a improv theater because I'd heard of it, because I had done a play with Del Close, who was the guru of the place. And it turned out that was something that I was interested in and could do.
Del Close founded Second City, or no?
He kind of did.
Okay.
But I'm talking about Improv Olympic came before Second City.
Right.
And Del was the co-runner of that along with Sharna Halpern. And I had heard of it years before. And so I thought, I was starting over in Chicago with friends and social life or whatever. So I thought, I'll do this. And it turns out I had a knack for it. And that set me on a path that was very beneficial to me making any progress in Hollywood. So after like 5 or 6 years in Chicago, I thought, I ended up, like you said, working at Second City, which I never imagined I would do.
Right. For those who don't know, Second City is a very, very, very famous. It's that and the Groundlings are the two.
Well, and now UCB.
And UCB.
But UCB came from Second City. It came from people who were from Second City.
People who were, for the most part. And and it's always called the famed improv troupe Second City or something. And I've always thought that was a misdescription. It's a sketch comedy show is what you go to see. And but all of the comedy is inspired by an original improvisation. Rehearsal is improvising.
Mm-hmm.
And then you rehearse the same thing again. Do the psychiatrist bit, improvise it again, and eventually you start writing down what was said.
Well, here's where I'm sorry this goes back to the introduction that you were like, no, I wasn't the first improviser, which, yes, I know that. I know, obviously, it was the 90s. You wasn't. But when did, now we're really getting off topic, but I'm very curious because, like you just said, improv was the means to sketch. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start, when did improv?
That's a very good question. And that, I believe, I'm not a historian of this, but I believe that is why Del Close holds the position he does in terms of esteem and, fame among improvisers. Why do we know that name? He insisted, and this, could be wrong, I wasn't there. He was an advocate that improvising in front of an audience could be its own form of entertainment. And others believed it was only a tool to reach a form of entertainment that would be acceptable to the audience. It's like people thought watching an improvised scene is like inviting an audience to rehearsal, a blocking rehearsal. What's the point of this?
Mm-hmm.
Call me when the show is ready. Over time, I think it has now reached a point where, yes, people know that improv is a a watchable form of entertainment.
But you were some of the first people, I feel like, to make that possible, to perform on stage.
Kind of. There was
At least to like garner an audience to come and see it, for sure.
Well, it was around before me. I saw a show that Del, like when we were in this play, I went to the building where his group, his theater where they do the shows.
Yeah.
I saw a performance. So that's how I knew the name, and I knew what was going on. By the time I left 10 years later, whatever it was, from seeing that first show, what was going on stage was much different. So to that sense, I can say that I was involved in because what went on then was literally games, which has been around for a long time. Viola Spolin, if I have that right, would teach theater games, is what it was called. And again, it was to get a better performance out of the written scene that you were assigned. So there were games, which are basically, party games. It might as well be charades,
Sure.
or who am I this time, or whatever the hell the game. That's what they were doing on stage. There was actually a referee on the stage, like with a.
What would they do?
Call an end to. Two teams would compete in. That's why originally it was called Improv Olympics. It was like games, this event and that event.
I see.
And Team A would do whatever theater game, party game, whatever, and then Team B would do it, and the audience would vote on which team had done it better. But it was games, and Del was instrumental in making it not that. Just start with a suggestion. You are two people somewhere, or maybe you're two oxen somewhere if you want to be. But that's so, in a sense, I guess I was there at some point on that, whatever word is for that
Transformation of the
trajectory. Thank you. I just know that by the time I left, it was a lot different than by the time when I got there.
So when you eventually left and came back to LA for round 2, what skills, tools, what did you take from Chicago? What did you take from your time, those 6 years, that like made this second time in LA click and finally happen?
A lot of friends. I was able to, as I told you, I showed up there virtually, too much time had passed. I didn't know anybody anymore.
Right.
A lot of friends out here. Also, Improv Olympic branch was starting out here. So we had a clubhouse. Professionally, I was a lot better at being funny.
Because those are two different things. They can be. Being funny in real life and being professionally funny are two different skills.
I think, I was sort of always funny in my real life. Looking back, there are, things I wouldn't think are funny now, but I got funnier. But there is a difference to being professionally funny. And part of it, I credit just by luck for all of us. There's a group, and you could say it's 6 people or 12 or 24, depending on how far you want to go. There's that many people. You could go farther than that, who hung around each other, witnessed each other's being. And I think we all got better at what we do. For one thing, the bar was raised every day. Other people would see that sort of going on and join in if they could. And I'm talking about just kidding around at a party or something. So I was better at being funny, and probably generally, better with age at performing generally. Also, maybe I grew into my age a little bit. I was not easily cast as a 20 or 30-year-old.
Sure.
And
you played a lot of cops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which people have kidded me about. You're glad to not play cop. Hell, I'll do it to the day I die. It's one thing. No matter what it is, it feels good to be cast, to be chosen. And I could pull off being a cop. And so I'd get, I probably did it, I don't know, but 10 or 12 times. And happy to have it every time.
It is interesting being around a community or around people, around like-minded people who are trying to make a name or work. And it's very different of trying to get something going when you're just isolated and doing it by yourself, where you're surrounded by people who also want to do good things, and there's not a gross competition, and it feels like everyone's trying to hustle and boost each other up.
Improvising requires other people, and you get used to relying on at least one partner, if not several. And acting, the pursuit of acting is a solitary pursuit. You don't need, you can have an agent and so on, but it's you in the room holding your script, and you got to pull it off, and then they'll pair you with someone else later. It's been said, you kind of said it earlier, Eden, that stand-up comics aren't good improvisers. I found that generally to be true because they're not used to working with anyone else, and they decide which way the presentation goes,
right,
and they get the laughs. And so sharing it or relying on another person isn't in their nature. Not that they can't do it. There's plenty that can, but it's just not the thing that they've gotten good at. So yeah, it is certainly being around like-minded people. God, in anything, we all do it. If you have anything to do with showbiz or not, your friends are probably like you are in some way.
Yeah.
And people who enjoy this or people who are good at that tend to find each other. And
it would be so weird. That would be what an unfortunate life to live, to be around people who, like, on some fundamental level aren't like you.
I'm sure people have done it. Probably we've all had the experience of being presented with a situation or an individual or people or whatever where you go, oh. Now, for me, I would say, luckily enough, it was in high school, like freshman year in high school, wandering into the theater department.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
This is more like it.
Yeah.
And you didn't know before, to an extent, it's not like I was an oddball or anything like that. I couldn't find a friend, but sometimes something about you was a little bit of a square peg in a round hole.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why isn't this, what I like isn't what he or she or they like. It's why didn't they think that was funny? Or why didn't they think that was fun? Or,
right.
And then you find people that just think like you do.
Yeah.
Quick story. When I was a kid, staying at my grandma's house, there were 6 of us kids that belonged to my mom and dad. And we would one at a time visit grandma, just to get someone out of the house for a second. And we loved doing it for one reason, because we had all the attention and the time and the say over what's on the TV and whatnot, instead of, 6 or 8 ways. And I like to put together puzzles. I was a creative kid and, heading toward being a...
Jigsaw puzzles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just something that grandma had. And so I was perfectly content to sit there at the table or on the floor and put together a puzzle. But she assumed that I was bored or whatever. And, do you want to, if you don't want that, I can change the channel, whatever. I'm like, I'm perfectly content.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
There's a candy jar over there. I can take whatever I want by myself. So she says, I invited the neighbor kid over so you'd have someone to play with. I'm like, oh, jeez. And no, don't want a stranger. Don't want some kid. I'm perfectly happy here. So he comes over and I think, this guy. And I'm probably 7 or 8. I don't know. And it quickly becomes apparent he has no interest in a puzzle. And point is, it was about 10 seconds before he said, you think you could take me? I'm like, yeah, okay. This is what we got. You ask over anybody. And that could have happened anywhere. But again, this is south side of Chicago. You were likely to have that, a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old say that to you.
And how many feet taller were you than him?
Oh, I'm smaller, I'm sure.
You're smaller?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
We're the same age. I was small when I was a kid.
Really?
I didn't know that.
When did you?
That has never come up?
When
No.
did you grow so many feet?
Between sophomore and junior year, or maybe junior, senior.
Of high school or college?
I'm there. High school.
Oh, well, I don't know. I grew when I was like 18. Wow.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
continue,
I was
Yeah.
smallish and
Oh,
very
this
light. I
explains
didn't
so
break 100
much.
pounds till I was probably a sophomore in high school.
Wow.
My point is about this is finding your group.
Yes.
The world seems like non-puzzle doers asking you if you think you could take them.
Yeah.
To someone who says, "Oh, puzzles, I'll do this with you, if you don't mind." And so that's what, and for so many people who end up, involved in theater or performing or whatever, they share a similar experience. That I wasn't a 10 or 12-year-old thinking, if only there's someplace I could sing and dance.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. It was just because it's not, the performance sure matters, but it's more the environment.
Yeah.
It's just, I love to this day, and it's been too long, I love walking into it backstage at a theater, or the rehearsals going on and you're at the back of the house, and they say they don't see you and they're just working it out.
It's this outlet. It really is this place. I feel like, like such a, I don't know, cheesy, like cliche. There's like, oh, thespian. But it really is. It's a place. It's this safe space where, because in like polite society, and I assume especially as a man or a boy, a growing boy, you are told, no, feelings, no, thank you, absolutely not. Big, anything, broad, anything, no, no. But even as a girl, like everyone is taught, like, you're too much, you're too loud, that's too much. And then you get to a place where everyone is so much, and feelings are not just okay, they are like encouraged. The bigger, the better, and everyone is able to. Everyone is just like has all the feelings together. It's just this. It's kind of like.
I've never thought of it that way in any degree, that it's about feelings or.
But it is. That's, I think, why you don't realize it. It is, though. I'm telling you, because you are so... Okay, this actually is a good lead into our next question, because we haven't really had a question. I realize we haven't done any of the questions that are on here. But because that's... The fact that you were like, never thought about feelings, it absolutely is. It is 100%, because you are... The question that I'm about to ask is... You have two really iconic characters. You've played a ton, but you've got two iconic ones. And they are, we talked about them, the janitor and Mike Heck. And in my opinion, truly the dad from Mean Girls. But that's a little, we're not gonna go into that right now. And they're two very, very different characters. And in my opinion, because I feel like I know you so well, they are just like, I can't decide which one is more actual you. What would you say? Who's more you? Who's more actual Neil?
Oh, that's a good question. There's sides of people, I think. I know and can be like Mike Heck. That's a part of my personality, depending on the situation and the mood, it wasn't hard to play. I can do this. But Mike Heck doesn't have a side of him that's the janitor, although I do. Mm-hmm. Which I don't even know if you could think of a word for it, absurd or something. But it was also mean. A lot of the time the janitor was actually mean.
Right.
And I'm not mean.
But it worked because you're not mean. So it didn't somehow come off as mean, even though it obviously was mean.
Hopefully it came up. Yeah.
But what's
Hopefully
nice,
it came
though,
up.
is that because Mike doesn't really have necessarily that side of him, so that we just reviewed an episode, it's yet to come out yet, but where you do get to kind of let the reins loose on Mike. You have this like pre-recording. We never see you do it, but like you're trying to get Frankie back and she plays it on a boombox and you're like, Frankie, take me back. So it is, what's nice though is that like we see this really nice steady ship of Mike Heck in the middle, but then we do get to see these fun pops that
that's
also
why
lead
it's
to,
fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, was Mike Heck drunk when he was
No.
Sobbing into the phone?
Just emotional.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
God.
super young. That was the Mike Egg reaction.
I just remember that a little bit, but it's almost embarrassing now to think that ever
Well,
happened.
then you have
so
then you
funny.
have a 3-page bedroom scene.
Wait, it was pretend and you're still cringe about it. It didn't happen, Neil.
It's embarrassing. The girls, the ladies, women that created the show and ran it, I think, well, not to generalize, but females in general, like men to have emotions.
You can keep eye contact with me. You don't have to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
To have emotions expressed by men.
Yeah, but here, I'm sorry.
And men generally don't like doing it.
Except you do, and you don't want to admit it, and that's why you're a theater person. Because you're allowed to there. You're allowed to. You did it. You're a professional
Finally,
actor.
I can laugh my head off or cry.
Yes, yes.
I've never done either on stage and never wanted to.
Lies.
Scream to the heavens.
Yes, you love it.
I have no... I don't.
Yes, you do.
I have no urge
Yes, you do.
to scream at people or to cry.
You think you don't, but absolutely you do.
You want that to be true because you're a woman trying to... No, I've had... Well, it's just a thing that happens. It could just be my life, but I don't know. I've had women that I'm involved with demand, beg, whatever word you want to use, for me to respond more passionately to something, them or, whatever else. Like, what do you want? I said I liked it, that sort of thing. Jump up and down, I don't know, throw the window open and why? I don't, I'm happy. I like it. Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Are you having fun? Yeah. You don't act like it.
Well, then for anyone asking if you're like Mike Heck, you have a line in the pilot that says, I told you I loved you the day I married you. If anything changed, I'd let you know.
Okay.
I guess that's right. I remember that.
Hold on. I'm not done with this yet. because we're talking about, fine. You don't like feelings. Sure. Well, you don't like feelings.
I didn't say I don't like feelings.
He has them.
I said I don't.
No, but do you? No, okay, hold on. I don't care about that. I don't care.
You said to me once at work, I just don't know how you can live without having any emotions. I said, I don't know if you heard my answer. I'm like, I have emotions. They're just not, written all over my face or whatever. And also not as extreme, probably not as much to the extent that you have them. Probably not.
I feel like I'm having a conversation with my husband right now.
I don't get,
Like,
I don't get very angry. Ever, hardly.
Well, okay.
I don't get sad very much.
Sure.
I don't get happy very much.
Stay neutral. And that's why you've been able to stay in this business as long as you
like
have.
a miserable life, if you ask me.
If you don't have highs and lows.
Okay, so wait. I actually have a real question, though. If you're saying we're all talking about this like aha moment, you step into a theater and it's like, oh, wow, these are my people. What about it then? What about it felt like your people? If it's not the like...
Well, also it wasn't instantaneous like that. You walk in and like Wizard of Oz, it's suddenly Technicolor. But
finding your people. What about it?
Probably the personality of the people involved, or it could also be the way the person running the situation behaves, or
So
the
you didn't
way it's run compared to the football coach. The director of the play is a little different.
But you stayed actual. You acted. What did you like? What do you like about acting? Then you don't like feelings.
Someone. To the extent you like the attention. I also like that pretty immediately. People seem to think, whether fellow student actors, the directors, whatever, they seem to think that I was good at this. It's nice to get, approval and praise in that sense. And I like doing it. And someone a girlfriend's mom once said, what's the word, technique, whatever. I said, no, pretend it's real. 3 words. That's it. There is no technique.
Yeah.
Never has been for me.
Sure.
Other people have a technique, but and it's maybe it's so easy. I shouldn't say that. It's stepping on our profession and saying it's easy.
And how much work you really put into how much practice
Sure.
it takes.
Yeah, that's true. What I'm saying, compared to having a technique,
Yeah.
it's easy because you just, for me, pretend it's real and play it like it's actually happening.
Yeah.
I've thought before, this reminds me of, you could say acting is easy if you can do it.
Yeah, totally.
And by the way, a lot of people can do it. There's what'll keep you from getting a big head is acting. I mean, being a great actor, however many of those you can count, is one thing. That's a rare skill. Acting generally, a lot of people.
There's a
can
lot
do
of
it.
talented people in this city.
A lot of people that aren't actors could do it if they wanted to. Peyton Manning can do it. And he's
Like to see
way
that.
better
Is
at
that true?
something else. Yeah, he's got a knack for performing. Yeah, but I mean,
How do we know that?
from
Has
the
he been
times
so?
he's performed, like hosting SNL or commercials or whatever.
I don't want to be losing jobs to Peyton Manning now. All right, okay.
He's just good at it. But what I'm saying is, here's the line of thinking that I'm trying to follow. You could say, is dunking a basketball hard? Not to someone who can dunk a basketball.
Right.
And so, and by the way, people who do that well probably enjoy it. And it's not hard because they can do it. For a lot of people, it's not hard. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It can't be done. And the same is true, let's not say for acting, let's say singing. If you can't sing, you can't sing. So yes, it's hard. It's very hard. So hard that it's impossible. And different people have different skills. If you can do it, is it hard to do is a tough question to answer.
Yeah. I'm not going to let this go, though.
Okay.
You say, because I really want to see this through to it. I'm going to just keep pushing you. I'm going to push back. When you said, so what did you like about it? You were good at it. Good at what? What is it then? What were you good at that you enjoyed? What is the thing? You said pretend it's real. Pretend what is real?
The situation.
And when you're in that situation, what are you doing though?
Pretending it's real.
Yeah.
Pretending to feel other things.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
You like
But
feeling.
you're talking about the bigger the better, and that's bouncing off the walls or throwing yourself out the window.
This is what is insane to me is that, and this is why it probably, people were like not tracking why that train of logic went to the question of who are you more like, Mike or the janitor. But the bigger the better thing is you have this like very small, I don't feel highs, I don't feel lows, I don't feel anything at all part of you. And then you also have this very goofy, absurd, ridiculous, I'd call it ridiculous. This is just ridiculous part of you. Yeah. And that is, it can be broad and big. You are good at big comedy. You are also very subtle, but you are good at big. And so, yes, the bigger, the better. You are good. You like being big, and you make these jokes. Like you can say a joke, and you can raise your voice loud when you do it. Or like committing to a joke is making it in effect bigger, just even bigger for yourself. So no. I refute what you're saying. You like feeling, you like broad, you like bigger, you love it all.
You like acting because maybe Neil Flynn, like you say, the highs aren't too high, the lows aren't too lows, you're pretty even keeled, that when you're pretending a situation is real, it gives you a little bit of a gateway to go a little bit higher, go a little bit lower.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And yeah, okay. You could be right, but here's another thing. It's pretending.
I am
so
right.
If you're playing a scene where you're very emotional or very outwardly angry or hurt or something, it's those, am I capable of having those feelings? I imagine I am and have had them, but not generally. And also, maybe this is what you're saying, Eden. I might have it in me to be joyous or hurt or embarrassed or something, but I don't like showing it, and not many people do, or at least
That's
like
human
me.
nature.
Yeah.
You don't act hurt. I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I can portray it, I imagine. I'm not sure I've ever been called on to do it, but because everyone, maybe part of the joy that we get as actors is it's safe.
That's all I was trying to say. That's exactly what I was trying to say. It's a safe
deeply
space.
wounded emotionally person, but you're only pretending.
Exactly. It's like, it seems stupid. I hate saying this, but it's like therapy.
I can see that. Well, some people, especially among beginners, you could say, that's why they're in acting class.
Sure.
They're
Getting out what they need to.
Yeah, and they do their 5-minute scene or something, and then you spend however long, could be 30 minutes, talking about them.
Right.
And
Right.
yes, you acting out, literally. But people, sometimes people in an acting class, for instance, might strike you as someone who's there for a reason other than they want to be an actor.
I do have a question for you, Neil. As I guess I found it fascinating, and I understand it to a degree where you're saying you play the situation, you play it like it's real. It's talking about that same episode, and it's right after where you hear the recording of yourself going Frankie, whatever. And what we commented on, or what I commented to Eden, was what I think you do very skillfully is that you are frustrated with the situation and not angry at Frankie. And to me, I was telling Eden, I was like, is that a choice? Because it's an incredible choice, because you have to turn the anger inward so it doesn't come across differently, as opposed to pointing it at Frankie, because that's a different show. Does that come naturally, or are you still making those choices in the moment? Because what I told her, I was like, that's an incredible choice, because if you're pointing the anger at Frankie, at Patty, it's a very different show, a very different scene.
Yeah. You used exactly the right words, and I can't take credit for that, except to say that I know that from times on stage improvising, people don't laugh when I act angry.
It's not funny.
It's not
when people
funny.
are angry. It's
It works
uncomfortable.
it works for Will Ferrell, or so. But then again, maybe he also is playing frustrated more than angry. No, but he'll put his voice up a couple octaves, and I can't believe, whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny.
There's a disarming quality to it.
Yes, if I act angry in any realistic way, it's not funny, and I've learned that. So, that being true, I understood when the ladies running the show would say, not so much angry, but frustrated. Got that note many times. And I never really knew what they wanted out of me, except that they liked seeing a man have emotions. And so they wrote it into the script. But it was difficult to do.
Yeah.
There was one time, for instance, that Sue had a cell phone, and I wanted it for some reason. I don't know what the situation was. But now we have a scene where me and Patty are in the bedroom, and I'm frustrated because I asked for the cell phone and she wouldn't give it to me. And, she wouldn't give me the phone. I get more frustrated, more, you're angrier, but not acting angry. You're frustrated. On and on, not enough, more angry. And I said, can you swear on this show?
Yeah. I got you.
Okay. Oh, you can put a bleep in.
Yeah.
I said, if I was that angry, I'd have the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, I don't know how you grew up. Dad said, give me that.
Yeah.
You might hesitate. Well, why? What did I do? Whatever. But you give him the phone, especially if he's angry.
Yeah.
So I thought the scene wasn't realistic in that sense.
How'd they respond to that?
I don't remember, but we got past it. But it was often a fine line walking between frustrated and angry, because anger isn't funny.
Right.
Well, I think that's all. But you're right that partially it wasn't your choice. Like, collaborative. Like, they wanted it to be frustrated, and you played the frustration, I think, really well and realistically. But I think that's also where, the collaboration, the collaborative part of it comes in, because there was a lot of you. And I think having your perspective was very important, because I remember, it's like burned into my brain, this this episode. Do you remember the episode I'm about to say with the I can't remember why. I cannot remember why Mike is like chasing the kids or something, but like basically like almost like threatening to like hit us. Yeah. And I remember we rarely, for the record, like we rarely fought back. I feel like we always was like, if we didn't like a joke or we didn't want to do something, we'd say it once. Usually it was like request denied, and like, all right, fine, we'll just do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you'll see that it doesn't, and we'll change it, whatever. Right. And then we just do it. And
I can only think of two, and that's one of them.
It was one of them where you were like, I'm not doing this. I wouldn't.
It was crazy. The writers have to come up with, we did 200 some shows. There's 200 ideas. No, it's more than that because there's like 3 plots in every episode.
Yeah.
So and after a while, over the course of time, it becomes more and more challenging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so the writers do a lot of talking about their own, like we might do sitting around just telling stories of what happened to you yesterday or whatever. And certainly this is a show about a family. So if a writer has a family, they're probably encouraged to offer something that happened last night or whatever. And oftentimes that's in the script. Well, in this case, I objected to it. It had happened to one of the writers that he had ended up like almost chasing after, let's not say chasing, but following his daughter to the house saying, wait till I get my hands on you, basically. But nothing happened and so on. He was just very angry because she had hurt him in some way. I mean, physically, like kicked him or something. But they just took that story and transposed it onto our family, our TV family. I said, look, there's a difference. One thing, this guy is a comedy writer in Hollywood.
Right.
Let's say he's weighing in at 160 pounds. I don't know. But I'm playing a quarry manager in Indiana.
Yeah.
And plus, the character I'm chasing after is probably the sweetest person most of us have never known,
Right.
But, but it really happened. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's crazy to have my character that you created threatening to physically hurt another character you created. It's madness. And so we altered it a lot.
Yes.
Do you guys remember what it ended up being?
Yeah, it was never, for one thing, I never said, wait till I get my hands on you.
Right.
What she did was like knocking my feet off the coffee table, which forced me to fall to the floor, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, I think what it is that I got up angry enough for them to think, oh, Dad's angry, but I never touched anybody or anything. And it just got diffused quickly. I don't remember. And also the Atticus, who could, was found physical situations dangerous, possibly.
Right.
Was supposed to be in the middle of it. And it's like, no, not that either,
Yeah.
But the only other one that I remember where we said we were objected, do you know? Because it really happened.
Was it the fork? Oh, no, because you ended up doing that. You put a fork in the table.
No, I guess I didn't.
No. Wait, what was it?
Because it happened at one of the writers' houses, and it was so funny that they reenact the scene for our thing. It's in the living room. Ever involved jumping? Patty jumping, and she can't jump. We were touching something, and everyone was seeing how high they could jump, and Patty jumped very poorly, which I guess is what happened to the mom in this real life scenario. Point is, it was like literally, in my memory, 4 or 5 pages of us laughing hysterically, like rolling on the floor. And I said,
At the expense of Frankie.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was one less person holding up the laughter tent. I said, look, if it makes me lesser of an actor, I'll take the shot, because I can't laugh for 4.5 pages. Nobody can. I think the best actor in the world can't do it. Laughing and crying are probably the 2 hardest things for an actor to do. I don't know if laughing hysterically, extremely difficult. For page after page, for like 2 or 3 minutes?
Yeah. At the same thing. unless the situation is changing, and you're like,
Right.
oh,
Escalating,
now it's
yeah.
escalating. Like, but if you're laughing, yes, no, totally.
Right.
You can't. Nobody does that.
It just
It's not that funny.
it's not that funny. And it was the epitome of you had to be there. And fortunately they changed it somehow. I think it still happened and we laughed, but you can't put it out there writing a script or directing a scene. You can't have actors laugh for pages on end. It show me the actor, I'll take my hat.
So on that note, because that is exactly what I feel like. It's exactly what I was saying. You just like hit the nail on the head in terms of just like, I don't know, doing things and then knowing when to stand your ground, and how that sort of like makes it makes a fully formed character seem real when you have like your actual perspective coming in and then informing the comedy writers who are very funny, and often their real life situations are very funny, but sometimes you just need to say like, that's not the character. That's not, because you have to just trust yourself and be like, I actually, at this point, I know the character. Mm-hmm. Was there a moment, when did you feel like Mike Heck really clicked? Really like, okay, now I know, I see this person.
I couldn't tell you that. I would have to think about it for a long time to, ponder the history. I felt pretty comfortable from the beginning because I felt like I knew these people.
That was Patty's answer too. She was like, I think I got it right. I knew who it was right away.
Yeah, you know what I liked right away? The set, shooting the pilot, the set decorator had folded grocery bags in between the fridge and the wall. I thought that is a really nice touch. Because yes, in this house, that would be there.
We just talked to the production designer actually, and it was genuinely enlightening. It was like, oh God, yeah, there is. We both knew that a lot goes into it behind the scenes, but like a lot goes into it.
Yeah,
a lot.
It's good to take a peek at someone else's profession and realize that you had underestimated their contribution.
Yeah.
It's so no, I never felt. What do you mean? That's what Patty said. She's been here.
Yeah.
Like before me.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah. I thought early on, there was a couple times the ladies that created and ran the show were excellent, I think, not only at their job, but part of their job is managing personalities.
Totally.
And I thought they were very good at that. And one of the times, I can think of at least one time when they took my word that my character wouldn't do that.
Do you remember the scenario?
Which is, yeah, I do. It's a little bit of a joke, by the way, folks out there, that the actor, usually it's like a self-important actor will say something, my character wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be true. And the case where what it was Mike's reaction to basically having his feelings hurt by Patty not appreciating a gift he gave her. I said that would never happen. Not with me, and certainly not with this guy. Because in a way, like you find part of yourself that is like the character. I heard this asked recently. Do you take a character from outside yourself and like wear it? Or do you take yourself and make them like the character, more like the character?
What do you do?
Definitely the second one. I start with myself and act like I would act if I were this person in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I'm kind of enough like Mike Heck that I'm not acting in some wild way I don't understand. I completely understand. And some things like I wouldn't do. They had Mike getting his feelings hurt. So at a party, like it's a birthday or Christmas or something, going into the bedroom, putting on his pajamas and going to sleep. And I thought, with people in my house, and it's Christmas or whatever the hell, and because my feelings are hurt. No way in hell. I don't know who would do this. And so they changed it. They said, "What would you do?" And I said, "I'd grab a beer and go outside."
Yeah.
If you're walk it off.
If you're not the actor who's speaking up every episode, when you do say this is a red flag, then I'm sure they're more prone to listen to you.
Yes, that's probably true. I just thought now it's not even worth saying. Because I can't name specifics and it doesn't matter. But I know an actor who could have been on a show more than they were, but starting with the pilot, they had too many ideas.
Uh-huh.
And their recurring basically disappeared pretty quick.
Not our show? Not our show.
I'm not going to say, but no.
Okay.
It's just a story I heard once.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you tell us off mic?
Sure.
Eden loves the gossip.
There's probably
I just like when Neil talks to me.
I probably couldn't recreate that moment of, whatever you would describe the emotion. Sure.
That's your constant state of, I feel like that's 51% of the time. It's like a combination of confused, not worth, okay, like maybe kind of endeared, but mostly confused and like just want to stop talking. Okay, I guess.
That you witness.
Yes, that's your response to me.
Time around you, yeah.
So before we have one more question before we do our blue bag grab, which is our trivia. I guess, so Scrubs ended and a week later you had ABC's The Middle.
Something like that.
Something like that. So I'm asking him to feel. So The Middle ends after 9 years. Where are you mentally? Are you back to square one where you're like, where's the next job? Are you content? Are you sad? Or are you neutral? Like, are you more neutral than you've ever been?
Back to square one best describes it. I knew there'd be professionally, I knew there would be a spectrum, a word I was looking for before, from interested people banging my door down to total silence. And, I was prepared for anything along the way. It turns out it's much closer to total silence than no one's at my door. I've only had a few jobs since The Middle. And part of it is you can be more selective about what you say yes to. And part of it is I don't want to work out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And they shoot whole series in Canada or, on the East Coast or something. And I just don't want to go there for 8 months out of the year. I don't understand. I would have in my 20s.
Sure.
But just not anymore. Anyway, so when it all ended, I would say, number one, grateful for the experience. And that's honestly true. Because I had enough time on the outside, on the porch of the party, thinking there must be a way in.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's, we're full, thanks, we don't need what you got. And then once you're there, I guess proving you belong. You should have been invited all along, or maybe not. Both Patricia Heaton and I know, I think, me for longer than her, what it's like to be on the porch.
Yeah.
And so we're very appreciative of good fortune. So number one is gratitude for having had the experience. Number two is hoping for something else, but understanding if you're done, because you got to ride the train. And so that's where I am. And I'm at the point now, and you know why I want to keep on working? It's not for money. It's because it's fun. We enjoy doing it. And it's part of it is seeking relevance.
Right.
Like, for a while, you don't so much think of when it's actually happening, but when someone might say to you outside, I like your show, or something like that, that's now. And people still might say, I liked your show, but it's receding further and further into the past, and with it, your self-perceived relevance.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, we're all irrelevant in a way, in all aspects of life,
Yeah.
to anyone else or anything that's important.
We're also this big in the grand scheme of things. But
Yeah, but it's a natural human thing. If you've ever been treated as if you were relevant, it's natural to want that more and again. And that begins to fade when you haven't done something for a while. You're not in that. You were a member of, something, some hit band, say. But the band broke up and your last album was 10 years ago. You're still that person, but people are going to say, hey, I really liked, they said something you did a dozen years ago.
yeah.
And you're still recording music.
Yeah.
Except the music isn't relevant anymore.
Yeah.
It is to you and you would like it to be again. But anyway, so I would like to keep on working.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to add, you're listing the reasons why you want to keep working. And of course, and because you love feelings. Okay, thank you so much for
Yes,
being
I do.
here, Neil.
I've been overjoyed this entire time. And also a little sad.
Okay, we are going to do this really quick blue bag grab because we told you this would be an hour, and it's been well over an hour.
All right. Okay. So, Neil, the blue bag, famously the blue bag from ABC's The Middle, your employer for 9 years. We do 5 trivia questions. And so these are all Mike Heck trivia questions. You pull from the bag. There's 5 of them.
Oh, but just one, I think.
No, you take all 5. I'll give you the whole blue bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But do one at a time.
Do one at a time. Let's see how you do.
How else would it?
You guys, one time?
1/15 October. In episode 312, of course, the year of the Hex randomly assigned New Year's resolutions to each other. Mike is assigned to do what more? This is just finding out if I remember something?
Yes.
Smile?
Yes.
Good.
Oh my God.
That's great.
Holy wow.
Wow.
Whew,
I
okay.
remember having a smile at a cop one time. And we were in the
The
car
worst
with you
day of
guys.
your life.
Huh? No, I mean on the show.
You-
And,
Still.
Still. Well, it was awkward because I was, we always used to enjoy those scenes in the car. It was something about it. But before we did it, or maybe between takes, there was consultation in the car as to how to smile. Because I remember someone, maybe you, maybe Patty, saying, don't open your teeth. I was smiling like with clenched teeth. And she said, that's not how you smile. I'm like, all right, well,
Okay.
thank you. Because that's all I had to tell myself is that, open your mouth. Famously, Mike got caught singing in the car. The
Oh,
rest
your
of the family.
favorite episode.
What song was you singing? I think it's More Than a Feeling by
That's
Boston.
correct.
Boom.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I would have remembered that if, by utter coincidence, I hadn't lip synced to More Than a Feeling on Scrubs.
Did you really?
Oh.
It's an episode where we're a guitar band, and it was with Donald Faison, who was doing the actual the lead singer. Sam Lloyd, the dear departed Sam Lloyd.
Sam Lloyd died?
Yeah, several years ago.
Whoa, what?
Wow, how did you not know?
I don't
that?
know.
That's good old Sammy. He it might be 3 to 5 years by now.
Why
He
did
just got sick and it got him.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so late on my condolences, but that's whoa. Oh.
Yeah, I did. I could have just said Sam Lloyd and not have mentioned that, but
But he's a friend and you wanted
Yeah.
to I'm glad you did bring it up because now I know.
Yeah.
yeah. That was we were at air guitar band. I believe that was it, pretending to play the bass or something. And I thought it would be fitting that I wore sunglasses, which I did. But the main reason I was happy with wearing sunglasses is I felt embarrassed to be
Shielded
doing
you
what
a
we were
little bit.
doing.
Yeah.
And, all I had to do was go, more than a feeling, except not even singing, moving my
Less
lips.
than that. Yeah.
And yet, if you happen to catch the episode, I botched the timing. I lip sync incorrectly with my backing vocals. So, yeah, Mike got caught singing. In episode 518, The Smell, Bill Norwood, Pat Finn, who I just saw yesterday, go Bears, goads Mike into assistant coaching what sport that Sue is now on. It's a poorly worded question, but I'm going to say that it was soccer.
Correct.
Wow.
Okay.
This is the best
I think
anyone's
this is
done at
surprising
these.
you. Really?
Yes, because we do this with every guest. And
I would think I would be bad at it.
I would
Really
too. That's why I'm
well,
shocked. Wow. Okay.
Mike has a brother played by the wonderful Norm Macdonald.
Okay, this is a gimme.
What was Mike's brother's name?
We got him on the one you thought it was a gimme.
Wow. Does it help if I lead you in with Uncle? I know he's not Uncle, but he's like, Uncle.
No, but I will say always a treat if Norm was there.
Agreed.
It would take longer than it probably would have with a different actor. But toward the second half of his participation, he started wearing a earpiece.
I was just about to
Oh,
say
did he really?
longer
Yeah.
until we finally got the earwig ready.
Yeah, and he came with a friend that would be in the other room,
Yeah.
whispering into a microphone what Norm's lines were, and so he was
But
always
you'd never know it was he's
he was really good at it.
really good. Yeah.
Not as good as remembering the lines, but can I tell a quick Norm story?
Yes.
Please.
He is supposed to. There were a lot of people in the scene. Well, it was probably a Thanksgiving or something if he was there in the house, and he's supposed to say something like, "Kids never fall asleep with a cigarette lit," or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a certain wording, and as we said, it had to be exact. And he goes, okay, action. I tell you one thing, you never, what is it? It's kids, blah, blah, blah. You'd say, okay. There's one piece of advice I could give you. It would probably involve smoking. He was just in and around the line. I mean, like for 8 takes.
I remember this.
But it was so wrong, so fast, that it was kind of fascinating.
Oh yeah.
Because he's, by the way, for the record, Norm was a very smart individual.
Yeah.
Probably more intelligent than me anyway. But sort of nothing to do with that. He was just an unusual dude in some ways. To most everyone's delight.
Of course.
He
Even
loved.
Part of
when
his
he was
brilliance.
messing up, it was one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen.
I've never seen a person go on tangents from messing up lines before. Like, fully.
There was a time that, to this day, I don't know if he was putting me on or what. We went to Brick's Spelling Bee, and he was there with me. And he had the line, I'm going to go get us some beer or some beers. And I said, they don't serve beer at a spelling bee. Rusty.
Hey, there it is! Wow!
It just popped into my head. I never.
Nice.
Wow. See, sometimes a tangent will do you good.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, then another time he goes, all right, I'm going to go get us a couple of beer. I said, are you saying a couple of beer? It's beers. He goes, well, you said beer. I said, they don't serve beer at a spelling bee. It depends. And so that got fixed suitably. But then the next day I said, were you joking about that? And he behaved as if he was not joking, and then said, maybe it's because he's from Canada. And I thought, after the whole thing, I thought, no, it was actually more like a couple of years later. I thought, was he putting me on that whole time? It's hard to tell. But I, in my life, have sometimes misrepresented the truth for no reason at all except my own entertainment.
Right.
One of your elaborate lies.
One of my elaborate lies. And so he could have been doing that just for fun. He saw that someone would believe something.
Of course.
And so just keep on doing it. I think maybe we've all done that.
I do
I'm really
think
happy
that's-
with myself.
I do think that's the beauty of Norm Macdonald, is all I will say, is that you kind of never knew.
No.
You never knew if he was, and it was always like, I sometimes question, like, do you know why you're funny? And then he'd say something like, "Oh, of course you know why you're funny. Oh my God, you know exactly what you're doing." And then he'd like jump out of, I'd be like, "Are you even lucid right now?" And I was like, "Oh, of course, this is just his beautiful personality he's cultivated where like, you just kind of don't ever know, but you always know you're going to laugh."
Right.
It's perfect. This one time we were at like a Thanksgiving table, and John, who played our father,
John Cullum.
Yeah.
John Cullum, he was there, and these around the table scenes would take forever because they got to move the camera 10 times. Anyway, Norm has his phone out, and here's the cut to the meat of it. Someone sitting next to him said, "You only have 7 contacts?" It's something like that.
I think it was me.
I would say that feels like a very you thing.
No,
to
it was
say.
definitely me because he was
And
asking me how to text.
Why is
Sorry.
that a lot? Whatever
Yes!
he said, but he really did have. Go ahead.
No, that's exactly because it wasn't. I think it was a flip phone, or maybe it was a new smartphone, but not an iPhone. And he was asking me how he's like, "You're young. Can you text this person or like text my son?" I don't know. And I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Just go to your," and I was like, "Wait, where's your actual contacts?" He was like, what do you mean?" And I was like, "Are these? Do you only have 7 contacts?" And he did. He said, "Why is that a lot?"
And then the best line was John Cullum, who's obviously older than we are, and he says half under his breath, "I have that many doctors."
Oh God.
So Norm, all right.
All right,
last
Trust me.
one, right?
Here we go. Yes.
Mike took care of a cat for 7 years. I did? At the quarry before it died. What was the cat's name?
If you get close to this, I'm gonna take it as you get it correct.
Yeah.
If you get like in the genre.
Granite?
I knew you were gonna say granite.
That was the second one because one died and then the second one came across and the second one was granite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was just gonna say granite, but that was actually in the episode.
That was actually in the episode.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay, but that's wrong.
Technically, yes.
Technically.
But you
The one you took
remembered
care of.
one, which is
It's
crazy.
another kind of stone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gravel? That doesn't sound right. It's something like granite. Limestone.
Yes,
There it is.
there it is.
All right, not bad, not bad.
Nice.
Well, Neil Flynn, this was a blast. Thank you so much for doing this.
We love you. We love you so much. Can you say it back to me?
We love you. We love you so
No,
much.
say I. Let's start with I.
I love you. Didn't I say that last time I saw you?
You did.
Oh.
Is that the first time ever?
No, a couple times you've signed a card saying "Love Neil." You did leave me a voicemail one time. You were just somewhere, and you were like, "I kind of just wanted to talk," which you rarely err. I think it was during the pandemic, and I was like, "I can't believe I missed this call from Neil where he actually wanted to talk," and I called you back. But in the voicemail, I have it saved. You said, "You were like, I miss you, and I guess I love you." All right, bye. Or like, take care or something. And I will never delete that voicemail. But thank you
Okay.
so much.
In case I die.
Yeah. Oh God, don't ever say
Eden
don't
did
say that.
like a tape, a montage of friends of mine wishing me a happy
I heard all
50th
about
or
it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but apparently she set them up. Her instructions were just you explain why you love him. And, maybe someone else said it, but I know Joel Murray goes, "Well, I like the guy."
It made me laugh so hard. That was my favorite answer to that question. Like, love him. Yeah. I don't know if I love him. I like him. It's perfect.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
But
Thanks,
thank you so
guys.
much.
This
Thank
was
you.
my pleasure. Got me out of the house.